Eve, today's Monday. Welcome to your Pocket News. In today's news, we'll talk about the state of Serbia, the cost of removing a tattoo, and Brad Pitt. So let's go. One of the conclusions of the Youth Week in Brussels last week was to boost up enlargement chats with the Balkan states. Is somebody listening? As the EC has decided to restart accession talks with Serbia this very Wednesday. Or was it because war criminals were arrested last week and the UN was pleased with Serbian efforts? I think the latter. But it does mean that Brussels and Belgrade will sign an agreement on stabilisation and association together and boost up trade and commerce between them. It was last year when the EU postponed talks with Serbia for their lack of cooperation, but not only EP President Barroso but Justice Commissioner Olli Rehn is ready to chat them up again. Next Thursday, Germany will host its last ever big event as President of the EU, the much-awaited summit on the Constitution. With that in mind, the Parliament has come up with a few little tips to help the 27 come to an agreement. For example, if the Constitution does not promote democracy, transparency and citizens' rights, they will reject it straight away. It must also preserve the basic principles of Part 1 of the Constitutional Treaty and the Charter of Fundamental Rights. MEPs have always requested that the outcome must also consider all the themes under the theme of future of Europe, like climate change, energy security, migration policy, the fight against terrorism, enlargement, the European social model, and the economic governance of the Eurozone. No mention of young people there, though. What about our education, employment, and civic participation? They should be in the top 5 priorities, don't you think? Tattoos are fun, arty, and expressive. But if you get an impulse one done saying, "I love Mark," for example, it's stuck with you forever, even if you fall out of love with Mark. Removing his memory from your arm comes with a lot of pain and a small fortune. Well, the EU has just dedicated a small fortune to the Salvadorian government to initiate the removal of over 300 tattoos. But in this case, it's vital to remove the past from the bodies of those in question, because their past is related to the Mara Salvatrucha gang, the criminal groups that colour Central and North America with their illegal drug smuggling, black market gun selling, human trafficking, assassinations, theft and assaults. And most of the 100,000 thugs that make up the cliques that set up as a defence force express themselves not only through violence, but by tattoos saying Devil's Horn or Salvadorian Pride, depending on their clique. But since they set up in 1973, those who leave and seek a more moral existence are scarred with these tattoos of their past. So last week the process began of removing their tattoos. With the use of high-tech laser machine donated by the EU, doctors can treat over 16 ex-Maras and ensure that they leave the rehabilitation programme tattoo-free, scar-free, ready to face the future. And finally, Ocean 11, 12, and now it's time for 13. Since its premiere in Cannes, there's been mixed reactions. Most females praising it for its clever casting of Brad Pitt, George Clooney and Matt Damon, and males deducing that it's just as funny and well written as the first two. It was out in most European cinemas last Friday. In the meantime, here's a little clip of Ocean's 13.
I know people highly invested in my survival, and they are people who really know how to hurt.
Well, I know all the guys that you'd hire to come after me. They like me better than you. I know how that makes me feel. I know what that makes me want to do.
I was really hoping to avoid that this time.
Let's go, boys.
Mr. Bank, do you know what Chuck Berry said every night before counting 1, 2, 3, 4?
What did he say?
Pay me my money.
Our hope is we made a film that people enjoy as much as we enjoy making them.
Think he's gonna fall for this?
You did. You ready?
I was born ready.
Well, that's all for today, but I'll be back tomorrow with more Your Pocket News, so I'll see you here. Bye-bye.